Ms Legalista here. Thank you for joining the video. Now, a lot of times we think, oh, well, we aren't tech savvy. And so it's more likely that we're going to get duped by some of these fraudsters, these scammers, especially if they're using some of this new technology that's out there, apps that we may not be familiar with, tools that you can just buy at Amazon, but you got to know how to put them together. We don't know that stuff. We're not tech savvy. And so, yeah, we have to watch out really, really hard for this, right? We have to be really vigilant. Well, I want to show you this person who is a tech savvy kind of person who thought she had checked all the boxes. She thought she knew what she was doing, but it turns out that she fell for some of the same tricks that the rest of us fall for when it comes to these scammers.
This woman is not your typical.
Let's turn it up some.
Victim. She is a tech-savvy millennial who now has a warning for everyone.
It was very, very elaborate.
It all started with a text message, immediately followed by a phone call that caller ID identified as Wells Fargo from Wells Fargo's bona fide customer service line. It's an 800 number 31-year-old Katie Calloway is familiar with as a Wells Fargo customer.
I've spoken with Wells Fargo in the past where they needed to confirm my identity. So it seemed very standard procedure.
Calloway, who works in the tech space and feels well versed in it, says the man on the line was professional and convincing. She says nothing about it seemed like the scam she often warns her parents about.
I believed that the bank was actually calling me and notifying me of some fraudulent charges on my account. I told them no, I had not been purchasing XYZ in Best Buy. And all they needed was just for me to verify one text message they sent to me to confirm the identity on my account.
All right, let's stop there. She just told you she is a tech savvy person. She keeps her eye on this sort of thing. And here's the clincher here. Sometimes we're saying, oh, no matter what it says up there, don't believe it. Don't believe it when it says it's Wells Fargo. Don't believe it when it says it's JP Morgan Chase. Don't believe it when it says it's Bank of America. But what if it says Wells Fargo and the number is the Wells Fargo number? See, this is when I think people get confused because they're just like, well, it has to be, right? They can't spoof the number and the name and really make it look like it's that bank. Yes, they can. They can do it all day long and they will do it. And that's the whole setup. The idea is to have you think that this is a legitimate party who is calling you. It's that next piece that really ought to give her pause. It ought to be the red flag when they tell you to click on something, to send them money. Like, that's the piece. If you got flim flam, sham, scam, defrauded on the first part because you didn't catch it, you believed that it had to be that bank because it was the bank and that was the number that it was supposed to be. So it totally matched up. Like, you're thinking spoofing can't be this great, but it is. Let's listen to the second part.
That single text message she responded to instantly initiated a wire transfer of just over $4,200.
Think about that. She didn't have to jump through a lot of hoops. All she did was click on that text message. That is how simple the scam can be. Just clicking that one thing. That's all she did.
A penny that was in her checking account.
And unfortunately, online wire transfers also have fees associated with them. So I was charged wired fees.
Wells Fargo's response to Calloway reads in part, "You are responsible for online wires, whether or not actually authorized by you. We are unable to reimburse you and have closed your claim."
Let's go back and actually break down this letter that they sent her and see what it says here. Let's scroll that back here because I think it's important for us to know what they're going to say to you when this happens to you. If you know in advance, you'll probably be less likely to fall for it, right? It says, okay, subject, resolution of online wire inquiry account ending. Okay. We've completed our research of your inquiry about an unauthorized wire transfer request initiated through online banking for $4,247.61. This was last year. After reviewing all the information available to us regarding the online wire transaction you are disputing, we have determined that the transaction was performed by you or someone using your username and password. Under our online wire terms and conditions, online access agreement, and deposit account agreement. Look, the highlighted part. You are responsible for online wires that originate using your username and password, whether or not actually authorized by you. As a courtesy, we initiated one or more wire recalls on your behalf on your behalf to attempt recovery of the funds from the bank that received this wire transfer. Unfortunately, the beneficiary bank responded that there were no funds available to return. As a result, we are unable to reimburse you and have closed your claim. It is this highlighted part that I want you to really look at and understand. You are responsible. You wire transfers that originate using your username and password. Your username, it does not matter if somebody stole it, if you gave it to them for one particular purchase and they used it for something else. It says, look at that, whether or not actually authorized by you. You are responsible. You're on the hook for it. That's what their terms say. So understand that when they tell you that they are not going to reimburse you, that is why. And most
by
of the time,
you.
they don't.
We are unable to reimburse you and have closed your claim. A frustrated Callaway says she's not done. She's filed a police report with LAPD.
The fact that Wells Fargo's information was able to be spoofed so easily is really disconcerting.
And while she knows she may not get her money back, she's hoping her story helps save others hard-earned money.
My account had that much at that time in it, but someone else could have, their whole life savings in one account and have it happen to them, which is really scary.
Oh my gosh. Like this continues, right? So here, again, this sort of takeaway from this, because in the past I've talked about, ignoring that name, because usually it's the name that trips people up. Most people don't know the customer service number for their bank. Okay. Well, come on. We don't. We have to go pull up the card and flip it over and see what that customer service number is. So most of us know not to trust the number. But suppose you know the number and you're looking at it and you go, okay, that's my bank. Maybe not. But then you see the number and you goes, oh, and that's the number too. That's where she got tripped up. Number one. Her second mistake was in clicking on that link. Banks tell you all the time, they are never going to send you a text message telling you to click on a link. So do not do it. Don't trust the name. Don't trust the number. Don't trust the link. Okay? 3 easy principles you can remember. All right. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.